those noodle arms and noodle legs to take 2 calm, deep breaths.
Hi, 4th grade families. Welcome to the Distance Learning Classroom. I'm going to tell you all about what's been going on in humanities and social emotional learning this trimester. So we are transitioning out of narrative, taking a detour through poetry as we learned about different styles and tried our hand at them with a poetry portfolio. And now we've moved into nonfiction. We are practicing those lifelong skills of research, critical thinking, note-taking, and organization to tackle the hard parts of nonfiction texts, to learn from them and teach others with our writing. We are using all these skills to work on our social studies curriculum, which is how California became a state through the lens of its native peoples. Students are working on a California native tribe of their choice research project to teach their peers about, and have already done 2 informational writings already on topics of their own choice that we had a blast teaching our peers about. We have not, however, abandoned narrative writing. We are reading. We are still working on those connection-making skills, deep thinking with Island of the Blue Dolphins, which also connects to our social studies curriculum, and through our themed book clubs. The theme for our book clubs is diversity and inclusion. Students got a choice of a bunch of different genres, levels, and interests for those, and are in groups that are mixed between the online and on-campus cohorts to meet up every Friday to talk about what we've been reading and socialize a little bit with our classmates that we haven't gotten to see in a while. So we've been really excited to launch that. For SEL this trimester, December was gratitude, and we practiced making a habit of gratitude rather than just practicing it once a year on Thanksgiving. Come January, we jumped right into equity and inclusion, what those mean, how to practice them, and why they are so important to respect and celebrate diversity in the classroom and in the world. Conveniently, we were able to practice a lot of our informational text reading skills, learning about the civil rights movement. In February, we have been and will continue to work on kindness, being kind not just to others, but to yourself. Your students and you have access on the Google site to a kindness calendar that you can take a look at each day for daily tips and tricks on how to make the world kinder and more welcoming place, as we remember that kindness is not just the lack of meanness, but action and effort to help out other people and be inclusive. Thank you so much for stopping by my classroom, and Mr. Doman and I hope you enjoy the media that we've kind of collected to highlight student routines and learning here in 4th grade.
A red cat, a robot toy, a roll with coffee. Oh, cool.
I'm gonna donate
Reno shirt, rice. You don't want to donate that when you're done with it, but you can donate rice that you haven't used yet.
Nice.
A robot, a red car.
One goes apart, to now you cover me into a white and another one going across the
Say, if you could do any experiment you want, what experiment might you do if you had all that you needed?
Maybe I'd also like do a test if, like, for animals or something, like if they're put in a stressful place, what will they do? I also organized all of them, and here's all the soft, no wait, that's other. All the soft ones. This is all of the patterny ones, I guess.
It's really, really fun. Okay, so you said, which ones are worth 2 points?
The Good Wizard, the ones without the black mustache.
Okay. So I need Good Wizard tacos only for my dragon to eat. This is great. All right.
Hello, welcome to the 4th grade in-person learning classroom. I'm Mr. Delmont. I teach math and science to the 4th grade, for those of you that I do not know. Behind me is my math, or the classroom's math word wall, that at the beginning of the year was completely blank. And as you can see this year, by this point in time in the year, it's just about full. We're still got some empty spaces up here, but we started the year off talking about multiplication and notation and how to write numbers and really focusing on our multiplication skills through Thanksgiving. After Thanksgiving, we transitioned into thinking about division and how to do long division using the partial quotient method. That led us then to think about fractions being a division problem, and then how do we work with fractions? How do we group numbers with fractions? How do we add fractions? How do we add fractions with unlike denominators? How do we subtract fractions? How do we subtract fractions with unlike denominators? And then how do we deal with mixed numbers and improper fractions where the numerator is greater than the denominator, also known as fractions greater than 1. We will then eventually move into multiplying very basic fractions by a whole number, introduce the concept of decimals to students with the tenths and the hundredths, and then very basic percentages as we wrap up second trimester. Third trimester will then move into our study of geometry, angles, and lines to fill in all these empty spaces that we still have on our math wall. So where does it go, Walden?
It would go like, so it will go past this because it's more than 1, this is less than 1, and this is more than 1. Like, looking at this is 1, 15, 16, 16, 16. So that's 1, but this is more than 1 because you can simplify this to get 1 and 1/2, and that is more than 1. So that's why I think this is right here, because it's greater than this.
Okay.
Because it's more than 1.
Keep on going, you'll see that we also studied waves in science. So, as I mentioned before, I teach math and science, and in science this trimester, we focused on waves, and in particular, sound and light waves, as an introduction to energy eventually. So we studied sound, even the students at home did some hands-on activities, making panpipes out of straws, listening to different sounds, experimenting with sound waves, and learning about them. Currently now we're looking at light and light waves, and how light passes through different objects, how light can be reflected, and eventually how our eyes will process that light and turn them into images that we see. This will lead us into talking about energy, and has already got us talking about energy, and energy transfer from one type of energy to the next, and eventually electricity, which is the focus of our third trimester, electricity and circuitry. That is math and science in the 4th grade. Work time during math class.
You did not know.
What are you working on, Charlie?
I'm doing 1/6 plus 1/12.
Okay, some fraction homework. Looks like Noah's working on some homework. Diego's finished his homework, so he's exploring a fraction game from the Exploratorium.
Yes.
As is our friend Walden, exploring the Exploratorium.
Mushroom.
Sean's building a pizza with fractions,
I'm giving people the wrong
while my friends over here are playing cover up, uncover with their fraction kits that they built. What do you think?
Transparent.
What does transparent mean?
All the light shines through. Yeah. All the light goes through.
Wait a second. All transparent means all the light goes through it?
Actually, not all of it. A bit stays behind. A bit. Very little, but very little stays behind.
Huh.
Yeah, but it's still transparent.
What are you testing, Kitty?
I'm testing, I think it's called plastic wrap,
Plastic wrap.
and it's transparent.
Yeah, it's definitely transparent. Diego's putting his results in his digital science notebook. Good job, Diego.
I did it.
What'd you do, Diego?
I went over to the left and then pointed the flashlight to the left, and I got
So where is the light traveling right now?
the direction.
Oh, is it reflect? What's it reflecting off of?
Light's reflecting off the mirror.
What are you doing right now, Charlie?
I'm using the flashlight to hit against the mirror, then bounce off onto the book to get all the light on the book.
Oh, so learning about refraction right now, huh?